There was a time when I believed that success was a matter of luck or privilege, that some people were simply destined for greatness while others struggled in the shadows. But life had a different lesson for me, one that changed everything. I realized that success is not just about talent, hard work, or intelligence. It is deeply connected to attitude. The way we see our failures, the way we handle rejection, and the way we rise after falling determines how far we go in life. Your mindset is the lens through which you view the world. It is the foundation upon which you build your life, shaping your actions, decisions, and ultimately your success. When challenges arise, the way you perceive them determines whether they become barriers that hold you back or stepping stones that push you forward. A positive mindset sees opportunities where others see obstacles, finds lessons in failures, and embraces adversity as a tool for growth. Life is unpredictable and challenges are inevitable. Some people allow difficulties to break them, while others use them as motivation to rise higher. The difference lies in the mindset. If you believe that challenges are meant to destroy you, you will approach every difficulty with fear, doubt, and hesitation. But if you see them as opportunities to grow, you will tackle them with resilience, determination, and confidence. Your mindset does not change the challenge itself, but it changes your response to it, which ultimately determines the outcome. History is filled with examples of people who turned their setbacks into comebacks simply because of their perspective. Take, for instance, Thomas Edison, who failed thousands of times before perfecting the light bulb. If he had viewed failure as a sign to quit, the world might have remained in darkness for much longer. But his mindset allowed him to see every failed attempt as a lesson, bringing him closer to success. This is the power of perception. What seems like a dead end to one person can be a new beginning to another. A fixed mindset sees problems as permanent and insurmountable. It convinces you that your abilities, intelligence, and circumstances cannot change, leading to self-doubt and a lack of action. When faced with difficulties, a person with this mindset may say, "I can't do this," or "This is just too hard for me." On the other hand, a growth mindset believes that abilities can be developed, challenges can be overcome, and failures are simply part of the journey. Instead of saying, "I can't," a person with a growth mindset asks, "How can I?" This small shift in perspective makes all the difference. Every challenge carries a hidden lesson, but only those with the right mindset can see it. Difficulties teach patience, resilience, and problem-solving skills. They force you out of your comfort zone, making you stronger and wiser. People who achieve great success in life do not have fewer struggles. They simply refuse to let their struggles define them. They understand that the mind is powerful. It can either be your greatest ally or your worst enemy. Developing the right mindset requires conscious effort. It means replacing negative thoughts with empowering ones, surrounding yourself with positivity, and constantly reminding yourself that setbacks are not failures, but opportunities for growth. When you begin to see challenges as stepping stones, your entire life changes. You stop fearing difficulties and start embracing them, knowing that every obstacle you conquer makes you stronger, wiser, and one step closer to your goals. Failure is often seen as the end of the road, a sign that one is not good enough or capable enough to succeed. However, in reality, failure is not the opposite of success. It is a part of it. Every great achievement is built upon a series of failures that serve as stepping stones toward progress. A positive attitude allows you to shift your perspective and see failure not as a dead end, but as a setup for a comeback. When you embrace this mindset, every setback becomes a lesson, every mistake becomes an opportunity to improve, and every disappointment fuels your determination to rise again. Many of the most successful people in history have faced repeated failures before reaching their goals. Walt Disney was once fired from a newspaper for lacking imagination, yet he went on to build one of the most influential entertainment empires in the world. Oprah Winfrey was told she was not fit for television, but she used that rejection as motivation to become one of the most powerful media personalities of all time. These stories prove that failure does not define you. Your response to failure does. If you allow it to break you, it will. But if you use it to push yourself forward, it becomes a powerful force that drives you towards success. A positive attitude helps you reframe failure as a temporary defeat. Success, intelligent success, will not knock like a door. Just open the door and will take you inside. If you have a positive attitude, helps you reframe failure as a temporary defeat. It allows you to analyze what went wrong, make necessary adjustments, and try again with more wisdom and experience. Instead of dwelling on disappointment, those who adopt this mindset focus on what they can learn from the situation. They ask themselves, what did this failure teach me, rather than why did this happen to me? This shift in perspective makes all the difference. It transforms frustration into motivation and doubt into confidence. Resilience is built through adversity. Without failure, there is no growth, no refinement of skills, and no depth of character. The most inspiring success stories are those of people who refuse to let failure stop them. They understood that failure is never final unless they choose to quit. It is not a measure of one's worth or potential. It is simply part of the journey. When you maintain a positive attitude, you see failures as necessary lessons, each one bringing you closer to your goal. What separates those who succeed from those who give up is their ability to bounce back stronger. When failure strikes, you have two choices. You can either let it define you, or you can let it refine you. A setback is not a signal to stop, but a sign to adjust, learn, and push forward with even greater determination. Success is not about never falling. It is about rising every time you do. If you embrace failure with the right attitude, you will find that every disappointment is preparing you for a greater comeback, making your ultimate victory even more meaningful and rewarding. Energy is powerful. It is not just something we feel, it is something we project. Every thought we have, every emotion we experience, and every action we take carries. When you radiate optimism, positivity, and confidence, you naturally attract people, opportunities, and experiences that align with that energy. Just as light draws people in, so does a person who exudes positivity. The way you carry yourself, the way you speak, and the way you handle life's challenges create an invisible force that influences everything around you. Have you ever noticed how some people seem to attract success effortlessly? It is not because they are luckier or more talented than others. It is because they have cultivated an energy that draws positive outcomes into their lives. When you are genuinely optimistic, people want to be around you. Employers, business partners, and mentors are more likely to invest in someone who has a hopeful, can-do attitude rather than someone who is always complaining or doubtful. Likewise, friendships and relationships flourish when they are built on uplifting energy rather than negativity. The energy you put out acts like a magnet. If you constantly dwell on problems, speak negatively about yourself, and expect the worst, you will find more of the same coming your way. But when you shift your mindset and focus on solutions, possibilities, and growth, you start to see doors opening that once seemed closed. Opportunities begin to appear, not because they were not there before, but because your energy has changed to align with them. Your perspective shapes your reality, and when you approach life with enthusiasm and belief in your potential, success follows naturally. This does not mean that challenges will disappear or that life will always be easy. Difficulties come to everyone, but the difference lies in how you respond to them. A person who radiates positive energy does not ignore hardships. Instead, they face them with courage and faith. They trust that even in tough times, something good can come from the experience. This mindset not only helps them navigate difficulties with grace, but also inspires those around them to do the same. Surrounding yourself with like-minded, positive people is another key aspect of this principle. Just as your energy influences others, the energy of those around you affects your mindset and outlook. Being in the company of people who uplift, encourage, and support you helps maintain an optimistic perspective. On the other hand, constantly being around negativity can drain your spirit and make it harder to stay motivated. This is why successful individuals are intentional about the company they keep. Your energy is your message to the world. It speaks louder than words, influencing your relationships, career, and personal growth. The more you cultivate optimism and gratitude, the more life rewards you with abundance and joy. When you radiate hope, confidence, and positivity, you create an environment where success naturally flourishes. The energy you give is the energy you receive, making it one of the most powerful forces in shaping your destiny. Your gratitude is one of the most powerful forces that can transform a person's life. It is not just about saying thank you when something good happens. It is a mindset, a way of seeing the world that changes how we experience life. When you focus on gratitude, you shift your attention from what is lacking to what is already present, from what is missing to what is possible. This shift in perspective opens the door to more opportunities, greater happiness, and a deeper sense of fulfillment. Many people go through life feeling as though they do not have enough money, enough success, enough recognition. They compare themselves to others and dwell on what they lack, which creates a cycle of dissatisfaction. But the truth is, no matter where you are in life, there is always something to be grateful for. The ability to wake up in the morning, the support of loved ones, the lessons learned from hardships. These are all blessings that, when acknowledged, can completely change how you feel about your life. Gratitude allows you to focus on the good that exists instead of constantly chasing something outside of yourself. When you adopt an attitude of gratitude, you start seeing challenges differently. Instead of viewing setbacks as failures, you recognize them as opportunities to grow. Difficult times become lessons, struggles become stepping stones, and even painful experiences start to hold meaning. This does not mean that life becomes perfect or that hardships disappear. It means that you develop the strength to navigate them with a positive and hopeful mindset. You begin to trust that every experience, no matter how difficult, has something valuable to offer. Gratitude also has the power to shift your energy, which influences the kind of people and opportunities you attract. When you are constantly complaining about what you do not have, you create a negative atmosphere around you. But when you express gratitude for what you do have, you invite more positive experiences into your life. People are naturally drawn to those who appreciate and uplift rather than those who only see problems and disappointments. The energy you project through gratitude shapes your relationships, your career, and your overall well-being. Moreover, gratitude helps cultivate resilience. When life does not go as planned, it is easy to feel defeated, but a grateful heart finds reasons to keep going. It focuses on the progress made rather than the distance left to travel. It sees every small victory as a reason to celebrate rather than fixating on what has not yet been achieved. This perspective fuels motivation and keeps you moving forward even in difficult times. Gratitude transforms not only the way you see the world, but also the way the world responds to you. It shifts your mindset from scarcity to abundance, from frustration to contentment, and from limitations to possibilities. The more you practice gratitude, the more you realize that success and happiness are not about having more, but about appreciating what you already have. And when you truly embrace this, life becomes a journey of endless opportunities and deep fulfillment. Resilience is not something people are born with. It is something that is built over time through experiences, challenges, and the way one chooses to respond to adversity. At the heart of resilience lies a positive mindset, the ability to see difficulties not as roadblocks, but as opportunities for growth. Life is unpredictable and hardships are inevitable. But those who cultivate a strong, positive attitude learn to use setbacks as fuel rather than allowing them to break their spirit. Positivity does not mean ignoring pain or pretending that challenges do not exist. It means choosing to focus on solutions rather than problems, on progress rather than obstacles. When faced with hardship, a negative mindset leads to self-doubt, fear, and frustration. It convinces you that you are stuck, that things will never improve, and that giving up is the only option. On the other hand, a positive mindset allows you to step back, reassess the situation, and find a way forward. It reminds you that every struggle carries a lesson, and that growth often comes from discomfort. Throughout history, some of the most successful individuals have faced unimaginable hardships, yet they refused to let difficulties define them. Their resilience was not built by avoiding failure, but by embracing it with a positive outlook. They understood that setbacks were temporary, that failures were stepping stones, and that persistence would eventually lead to success. Whether it is an athlete overcoming injuries, an entrepreneur rebuilding after financial losses, or a student pushing through academic struggles, the common thread is the ability to stay optimistic despite adversity. The mind is incredibly powerful, and the way it interprets challenges determines how one responds to them. When you tell yourself that you cannot handle a situation, your brain believes it, and you start to feel helpless. But when you tell yourself that you are strong enough to overcome anything, you begin to act with confidence and determination. This shift in mindset does not remove the difficulty, but it changes how you navigate through it. Instead of giving up, you push forward. Instead of dwelling on failure, you learn from it. Surrounding yourself with positivity positivity also plays a crucial role in building resilience. The people you interact with, the thoughts you entertain, and the words you speak all contribute to the strength of your mindset. If you constantly absorb negativity, your resilience weakens. But when you fill your mind with encouragement, hope, and gratitude, you build an inner strength that allows you to face any challenge with courage. Resilience is not about avoiding difficulties, but about facing them with an unwavering belief that you will come out stronger. A positive attitude helps transform pain into purpose, obstacles into lessons, and failures into motivation. When you choose to see challenges as opportunities to grow rather than reasons to quit, you become unstoppable. Every hardship becomes a chance to build resilience, and with each experience you emerge wiser, stronger, and more prepared for whatever life brings your way. Believing in yourself is the foundation of success. It is the quiet yet powerful force that drives you to chase your dreams, take risks, and overcome obstacles. Without self-belief, even the most talented and capable individuals struggle to make progress because doubt holds them back. Everyone has beginners. Everyone has ideas of the limit, and everyone is humble once doubt. But when you truly believe in your own potential, the world starts to believe in you too. Confidence and conviction are contagious. They inspire others to see in you what you see in yourself. No matter how ambitious your goals may be, they can only be achieved if you first trust in your ability to make them happen. Success is not reserved for those who have never faced failure or doubt. It belongs to those who refuse to let fear dictate their actions. Many of the world's most influential people started with nothing but a belief in themselves. They had no guarantees, no perfect conditions, and often no support, but they had an unshakable faith in their vision. They knew that if they did not back themselves, no one else would. Whether it is an artist creating their masterpiece, an entrepreneur launching a new business, or an athlete pushing beyond limits, the common thread is self-belief. It is the fuel that keeps people going even when the road gets tough. Doubt is one of the biggest barriers to success. When you second guess yourself, you hesitate, and hesitation leads to missed opportunities. The world does not stop to convince you of your worth. You must do that for yourself. If you constantly wait for approval or validation from others, you give away your power. The truth is, people respond to confidence. It's when people are overly secure in their own sense of self, they gamble and lose. The truth is, people respond to confidence. When you walk into a room with certainty, when you speak with conviction, and when you pursue your dreams with determination, others take notice. They begin to see you as someone capable, reliable, and deserving of success. But it all starts with how you see yourself. Believing in yourself does not mean ignoring weaknesses or pretending that challenges do not exist. It means recognizing that despite your imperfections, you are capable of learning, growing, and achieving great things. It means trusting yourself to figure things out even when the path is unclear. The most successful people are not those who have everything figured out from the beginning. They are the ones who move forward despite uncertainty, knowing that they will adapt and improve along the way. The moment you start believing in yourself, your actions change. You carry yourself differently, you take bolder steps, and you become more willing to seize opportunities. People are drawn to confidence, and when they see you believe in yourself, they are more likely to support, invest in, and follow your journey. Self-belief is not arrogance. It is the quiet assurance that you are capable, worthy, and prepared to do whatever it takes to turn your dreams into reality. The world follows those who first believe in themselves, making self-confidence the first step toward any meaningful success. Like quoting the Bible, quote, "Even when the Son of Man hath returned in the east to the school of the bigger planets, it is beyond him to decide." So no matter how hard life gets, no matter how many times you fail, hold on to your belief. Stand tall, smile, keep moving forward with a heart full of hope. Because success does not come to those who wait. It comes to those who believe, act, and persist. And always remember, your attitude is your superpower. Use it wisely, and you will attract the success you deserve. Thank you.